Okay, so today I'm gonna go over the take-home quiz, which was only 3 questions. I'm gonna go over each one of the questions. So we're gonna start with question number 1. We are trying to write the following in slope-intercept form. We're trying to rewrite this equation in terms of y equals mx plus b. So we need to solve for y. We need to get the y by itself. So I'm gonna first begin by drawing my line. Then, since I'm trying to get the y to equal something, I'm going to circle that because now I know that is what I need to get on a side by itself. Now, looking at the 6y, if I move that y to the left, then I'm going to end up with the y and an 18 there. But that's not what I want. I want the y on a side by itself. So, instead of moving the y over to the left, I'm going to move the minus 3x. Because if I move that 3x, that minus 3x, then I'm going to be left with nothing but a y on the right. So the opposite of subtracting 3x is to add 3x. So I'm going to add 3x to both sides. Now, on the right, I can write the plus 3x underneath the x because I'm going to cancel them out since they both have x's. But on the left, I don't have anything else with an x. So instead of writing it underneath the 18, I'm going to put it right on the right of 18. I'm going to put it on the side of 18. And I can see that minus 3x plus 3x, those cancel out. So on the right, I end up with just 6y, which is what I wanted. I wanted my y's by themselves on one side. And on the left, I'm left with 3x plus 18. Now remember, those have to stay separate. I can't combine them because they're not like terms. One of them has an x, the other one is just a number. Now looking at my equation, I do have my y's on one side, which means now I am allowed to divide. And looking at my y, there's a 6 in front of it. Anytime you have a number in front of a variable like that, that means that the variable is being multiplied. The opposite of multiplying by 6 is to divide by 6. So I'm going to divide everything by 6. Now on the left I have two things, so I have to divide both of those things by 6. On the right, 6 divided by 6 is 1, so I'm left with 1x or just, I'm left with 1y or just y. And on the right, 3 divided by 6, you can do this in your head, or you can grab a calculator. 3 divided by 6 is 0.5. If I convert that into a fraction by pressing math and enter twice, I see that 3 divided by 6 is the same thing as 1/2. So I have 1/2 x plus 18 divided by 6 is 3. So I have plus 3. And I want to put this specifically in terms of y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to rewrite this as y equals 1/2 x plus 3. And that is my answer. Okay, so let's look at problem number 2. Problem number 2, again, I'm going to solve an equation. So I'm going to first begin by drawing my line. I'm trying to get the y by itself, so I'm going to go ahead and circle the y and the number in front of it. Now, here, it doesn't really matter whether I leave it on the right or on the left. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it on the right. And I'm going to move that 2x to the left. So, the opposite of adding 2x is subtracting 2x. Anytime you want to move anything across, you do the opposite. Okay, so over here on the left, I see that I have a 0, which does not have an x. So instead of writing the minus 2x underneath the 0, I'm going to write it on the side. I'm going to say minus 2x plus 0. So negative 2x plus 0 is the same thing as negative 2x. Bring down my equal sign. Over here, the plus 2x and minus 2x cancel out. And I'm simply left with 2y. Now to get that y by itself, I do the opposite of multiplying by 2, which is to divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So I'm left with 1y, or just y. Negative 2 divided by 2. Again, you can do this in your head, but if you have any doubts, put it in your calculator. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. So that's negative 1x, or just negative x. And again, I'm going to rewrite this by putting the y on the left. So that is the same thing as saying y equals negative x. And that's my answer. Number 3, the very last problem. I'm going to start by drawing myself a line. I see that I already have my y on one side. So I don't have to worry about moving anything around. All I have to worry about is getting rid of that negative in front of the y, because I want my y to equal something, not negative y equals something. So remember, if there's no number in front of the variable, that means there's an invisible one in front. I'm going to rewrite that. There's an invisible one in front of the y. And my pen is not cooperating with me today. There's an invisible one in front of the y. So that means I'm multiplying the y by negative 1. The opposite of multiplying by negative 1 is to divide by negative 1. So I'm going to divide everything by negative 1. Negative 1 divided by negative 1 is 1. Anything divided by itself is always 1, so that's 1y, or just y. And 2 divided by negative 1, if I put that in my calculator, or you can do this in your head, 2 divided by negative 1 is the same thing as negative 2, so that's negative 2. And 2 divided by negative 1, that's also negative 2x. Now again, I'm going to rewrite this to make it look like y equals mx plus b. So I'm just going to say y equals negative 2x, because I have a minus 2x, minus 2, because I have a negative 2. And that is my answer. Okay, so make sure that you copy all the steps down. Make sure you put your name on your paper. And I'll see you on Monday.